everyone, today I'm going to teach you how to make a salt dough decoration. This is a great seasonal craft for winter. You can use these salt dough decorations as Christmas ornaments if you celebrate Christmas, or you can just make some winter themed decorations to hang in the house, like a garland of snowflakes or stars. So for this craft, all you're going to need is water, salt, and flour, and any sort of decorating resources that you have at home, like paint or glitter, and something to cut out the dough with, which if you don't have cookie cutters, you could use a cup or a jar turned upside down. This craft does require the use of an oven, so you will need adult supervision for the baking and probably some of the mixing portion. This is a great low-cost, non-toxic alternative to clay or Play-Doh. The dough is only made from water, flour, and salt, so it is safe if someone puts it in their mouth, but it's not going to taste good, so do remember that this is for decoration only. It's not a cookie or a snack, so just keep that in mind when you're baking, especially with kids because they do look like cookies when they come out of the oven. Other than that, I hope you enjoy making this craft with your family over this winter break. So first thing we'll do is combine the ingredients. You're going to have 4 cups of flour, 1 cup of salt, and 1.5 cups of warm water. I've halved the recipe, but if you want to make the full amount, use the amount that I listed. So first we'll put in the flour, and then the salt, and then we'll stir that together to incorporate it. And then we'll pour in the warm water slowly. Then you can start by mixing with a spoon. Then once it comes together, use your hands. So once your dough has come together like so, you're going to continue to knead it for another 3 to 5 minutes. Now would be a great time to separate the dough and give pieces to the children you're working with and have them knead it on their own work surface. It would also be a good time to remind your children that it does not taste good, it's just going to taste like salt, so don't eat it. So now let's keep kneading it and then we'll roll it out. So kneading just really means sort of massaging your dough and pressing it down and moving it around so it comes together really nice and smooth. Okay, so now let's roll out our dough. First thing we're going to do is push it down with our hands and then roll it out with a rolling pin. You can either use a rolling pin sprinkled with flour, or if you like, you can put parchment paper over top, but I think it's a bit easier to roll it out. And then once we roll it out to about 3 to 5 millimeters thickness, I'll use the cookie cutters to cut out my shapes. If you don't have cookie cutters at home, you could just use a regular glass or jar and imprint a circle shape that you could paint pictures on afterwards. So let's get started rolling. So now you should preheat your oven to 300 degrees Fahrenheit while you do your cutting out of the dough. So let's start cutting the dough out. So now we've got all our cutouts ready, and we've poked a hole in them to put the string through because I'm going to be hanging these and putting some of them on a garland. So for this step, you can either use something like a toothpick if you're only going to be using thread, but if you're going to be using a thicker string like a ribbon, you want to use something thicker to poke the hole. I improvised and used a knitting needle and the end of a paintbrush. So really use whatever you think is going to be big enough to fit your string through. And now these are ready to go in the oven for 1 hour. After an hour, you can take your salt dough out of the oven. It'll look like this. Make sure you leave it for at least an hour or more to cool. It should be completely cool before you decorate it. Once it is cool, you can paint it with regular acrylic paint, or with some glitter. You can add really whatever you like to it. Here's a painted version of the stars we've made here. And this is a Christmas tree salt dough ornament from last year, so they do hold up really well without even any special preserving spray. Another thing you could do if you don't want to make an ornament for a tree or you don't celebrate anything with ornaments, you can make some seasonal decorations like this garland that I'm making here. It's just different colored stars. That's a nice winter theme. So I hope you enjoy this craft project and have a great day.